So hello everybody, back again. So this is going to be the last class on the module Special Theory of Relativity. So we are left with small two portions, that is Einstein's mass energy relationship. It is very important. Einstein's mass energy relationship, one of the common and hot topics that everyone used to discuss every time. And again, energy momentum relation. Okay, so how are you going to derive the equation for Einstein mass energy equivalent? We know what is force. Force is the rate of change of momentum. Force is mass into acceleration according to Newton's second law. Or I can write it or say it in a more general way as rate of change of momentum. Rate of change means d by dt. Rate of change means change with respect to time of momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity, that is mv. Uh, and according to the theory of relativity, we have earlier assumed that mass is constant. But when we are coming to the relativistic case where the motion is with a velocity comparable to the velocity of light, mass also changes, and we have an equation for the relativistic variation of mass with velocity. M is equal to m0 divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. And in this case, I cannot take mass as a constant. So in this specific case, I cannot take mass as a constant. Normally, we'll take mass as a constant, and dv by dt will gives us the acceleration. But here I'll have to take into consideration the change of the time rate of change of mass and time rate of change of velocity. So what I'm doing is time rate of change of momentum, mass into velocity. So first one is mass into rate of change of velocity plus velocity into rate of change of mass. Okay, that is clear for you. Hopefully I think. And what happens is that this force is displacing a body through a distance x, dx. Application of this force displaces the body through a distance dx. Then the increase in the kinetic energy dEk of the body is equal to the work done. What happens? When application of force produces a displacement, naturally there will be a work done. And work done is force into displacement. And work in this case here it is F into dx. And this work done is stored as kinetic energy dEk. And this work done is stored as the kinetic energy dEk. And dEk is equal to F into dx, and F is m into dv by dt plus v into dm by dt into dx. So I can write it as m into dv by dt into dx plus v into dm by dt into dx. And dEk is equal to m into dv by dt into dx plus v into dm by dt into dx. And dx by dt is equal to velocity, and dx by dt again is equal to velocity. That is dx by dt is velocity, dx by dt is velocity. So what I'll be having is m into v into dv. And here we are already having a v, and dx by dt is v. So v into dm, that is v square dm. And we know according to the relativistic variation of mass with velocity, I am having the equation m is equal to m0 into root of 1 minus v square by c square. And I can modify this equation like this way. Okay, I can modify this equation. M is equal to m0 square into 1 minus v by c square. I can multiply it. E denominator so what I'll be having m into 1 minus v square by c square is equal to m0 square. പക്ഷെ ഇതെന്താണ് ഇതിന്റെ എനിക്ക് LCM എടുക്കാം. That is c square minus v square divided by c square. That is m square into c square minus v square divided by c square is equal to m0 square. Or I can write m square into c square minus v square is equal to m0 square into c square. Or on modifying m square c square minus m square v square is equal to m0 c square. The same thing is happening here also. M square c square is equal to m0 square plus m square v square. അപ്പോൾ അതുപോലെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക, ഇതിനൊന്ന് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്തിട്ട് എഴുതുക. And now what you're doing next is differentiating. C is what? Velocity of light. It is constant. So Constant means I cannot make a change in that. So I'll keep it like that way. That is c square into m square is what? 2m into dm. And I'm having this m0 square is the rest mass of the body. It is the mass of the body when it is at rest. And it will be having a constant value. C is the velocity of light. It is again having a constant value. That means both m0 square and c square are constant. So what I can do is differentiating this constant will give you a 0. And these are all varying quantities. M is not constant, V is not constant. Both varies. So I'll have to differentiate both these quantities by applying the product rule. So what I'll be getting is differential of m square. Differential, I'll keep m square as constant first, m square. Then differential of v square is 2v dv. Next, I'll take v square as constant and find the derivative of m square. It is 2m dm. So what I'll be getting is 2 is a common factor. 2m is common factor everywhere. So I can cancel 2m. Here 2m, here m into 2, here also 2m. So what is left is c square dm is equal to mv dv plus v square dm. And we already have an equation like this way. dek is equal to mv dv plus v square dm. Comparing both, what I'll get? dek, that is the energy stored as kinetic energy in the body, is equal to c square into dm. And from this it is clear that the change in kinetic energy is proportional to change in mass of the body. Kinetic energy, change in kinetic energy, that is thus the change in kinetic energy dek is proportional to change in mass dm. dek is equal to c square dm. Now we consider a case when a body is at rest, its velocity is 0 or its kinetic energy is 0 and the mass of the body is equal to rest mass. And when its velocity is v, its mass become m. When its velocity is 0, mass is m0. When the velocity is v, mass is m. Therefore, on integrating the equation, the total kinetic energy is 0 to ek dek. Ek is equal to 0 to ek dek. That is equal to c square m0 to m dm. That is c square into m minus m0 c square into m minus m0 and ek is equal to mc square minus m0 square. And the change in kinetic energy of the body is mc square minus m0 square. This is the relativistic formula for kinetic energy. Okay, so this is very important. Just put it in a square bracket while viewing this class. When the body is at rest, its internal energy, the internal energy stored in the body is m0 c square. The internal energy or the rest mass energy of the body is m0 c square. This is again important. m0 c square is called the rest mass energy. The total energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus rest mass energy. So total energy will be Ek plus rest mass energy, kinetic energy Ek. Kinetic energy is mc square minus m0 square plus m0 square, which is the rest mass energy. So what is left out will be mc square. So this is called the Einstein's important mass energy relationship, that is E is equal to mc square. And this is very important, and this relation states a universal equivalence between mass and energy. It means that wherever mass is disappeared, energy is appeared, or wherever energy is appeared, mass will be disappeared. Okay, it is very important. Okay, an example is given. You can just read out the example for you. I'll send you the presentation, or I'll send you the notes to you. Okay. And one more relation is there. It is the momentum energy relation. Okay, energy equation for energy in terms of momentum. Suppose we are having a body of mass m moving with the velocity v. Suppose we are having a body of mass m moving with the velocity v. Its momentum become p is equal to m into v, and its energy is equal to E is equal to mc square. And we have an expression for relativistic variation of mass with velocity. So squaring both sides and rearranging, what you'll be getting is, as I have told in the before session, the same thing is happening here also. M square is equal to m0 square into 1 minus v square by c square, and I can just rearrange it in this way, and I'll get an expression m square c square is equal to m square v square plus m0 square c square. Multiplying throughout with c square, we get m square c raised to 4 is equal to m square v square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. And we know what is P. P is equal to m square v square and E is equal to mc square. So multiplying throughout by c square means you will get m square c raised to 4, m square v square p square plus m0 square c raised to 4. And m square c raised to 4 is E. E is equal to mc square. E square is equal to m square c raised to 4. And m square v square is p square. M0 square c raised to 4. Or I have the expression E is equal to root of p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. This is again another important relation called the energy momentum relation. And in the case of mass photon or neutrino whose rest mass is 0, I'll have a shortened form of this equation as E is equal to root of p square c square plus 0, or E is equal to pc. So you have studied two equations, Einstein's mass energy relation E is equal to mc square, and energy equation in terms of momentum E is equal to root of p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4, or in a specific case E is equal to pc. Okay, so we'll discuss some of the problems, and I'll give you some of the problem as assignment, and we'll stop it there. Show that the particles move with velocity equal to that of light have zero rest mass. Suppose a particle is having a velocity equal to velocity of light. The energy momentum relation is E is equal to root of p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. And using E is equal to mc square and p is equal to mv, you will get it like this way. Now we are having a condition. The particle is moving with a velocity equal to the velocity of light. So instead of v, I'll have to put everywhere c. So what is left is m square c raised to 4 is equal to m square c raised to 4 plus m0 square c raised to 4. What does it mean? m0 square c raised to 4 is equal to 0, which implies that the rest mass of that body is 0. So the rest mass of a body is 0 is the case for a neutrino or a photon. Photon means light, a neutrino is a subatomic particle. Now we'll discuss two problems relating to length contraction. A rod of 1 meter long is moving along its length with its velocity 0.6 c. Calculate its length as it appears to an observer on the earth or moving with the rod itself. So what is given? The proper length of the rod is 1 meter and its relativistic velocity is 0.6 times the velocity of light. What is the length of the rod when it is observed from earth? A rod is moving with a velocity 0.6 times c, which is velocity comparable to the velocity of light. So we'll have to use the equation for length contraction, and that equation is L is equal to L0 into root of 1 minus v square by c square, and it is 1 into root of 1 minus 0.6 c square by c square, and it is 1 into root of 1 minus 0.36, and it is equal to 0.8 meter. Hence the observer on the earth will estimate the length of the rod to be 0.8 meter. And for an observer, for a person who is sitting on the rod and moving with the velocity 0.6 c, means for that person the length of the rod will be 1 meter itself. In the S prime frame, the length of the rod is L0, that is 1 meter itself. In the S frame, it becomes 0.8 meter. The length gets contracted. So another question from length contraction part: how fast would a rocket have to go relative to an observer for its length to be contracted 99% of its length at rest. So length is 0.99 L0 and we'll have to find the velocity. Okay, so I can write the equation like this way. L is equal to L0 into 1 minus V square by C square. L square is equal to L0 square into 1 minus V square by C square. Or I have L square by L0 square. L square by L0 square is equal to 1 minus V square by C square. Or V square by C square is 1 minus L square by L0 square. Or I can write V square. We'll have to find out V square here. V square is C square into 1 minus L square by L0 square. But L square is 0.99 L0. Substituting it, you will get C square into 1 minus 0.99 whole square. So you'll get a value for velocity like this way. 0.1416 C, which is equal to 4.245 into 10 raised to 7 meter per second. So another problem from the time dilation part. A clock in spaceship emits signals at interval of 1 second as observed by an astronaut in spaceship. If the spaceship is traveling with a velocity 3 into 10 raised to 7 meter per second, what is the interval between the successive signals as seen by the observer on the ground? Okay, I have told you the example. The time interval between the two events or two shots is 1 second. That is t0 is 1 second. You'll have to find the time t. And the equation is t is equal to t0 divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. And v is 3 into 10 raised to 8, 7 meter per second. So t will be 1.005. So the time observed as 1 second will be observed as 1.005 second from Earth. And 1 second is observed by the man in the spaceship. A particle with a proper lifetime of 1 microsecond moves through a laboratory at 2.7 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. What is its lifetime as measured by observer in the laboratory? That is, you'll have to find out t itself. What will be the distance traversed by it before it is disintegrating? The distance, okay, so you find out the lifetime to be 2.3 into 10 raised to minus 6 second. And distance traveled is average distance moved before disintegration is distance is equal to speed into time. Speed is 2.7 into 10 raised to 8 and time is 2.3 into 10 raised to 6 to minus 6. So it's distance traveled, average distance traveled is 620 meters. Now mass energy relation. One problem from mass energy relation. If 4 kg of substance is fully converted into energy, how much energy is produced? E is equal to mc square. M is 4 kg. Therefore, energy is 3.6 into 10 raised to 17 joules. Calculate the rest energy of an electron in joules and in electron volt. Rest energy. Equation for rest energy is m0 square. M0 c square. And rest mass of an electron is given. It's already known. Mass of an electron 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. C is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second. So the rest mass energy in joule will be just multiplication of these two quantities, which yields 8.2 into 10 raised to minus 14 joules. To convert it into electron volt means we'll have to divide it by charge of an electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. That is equal to 0.51 mega electron volt. So you got the energy in terms of joules as well as in terms of electron volt. You just write down these questions. You just write down these questions in your notebook. An experimenter observes a radioactive atom moving with a velocity. So this is a question. This is a question from relativistic addition of velocities. So an experimenter observes a radioactive atom moving with a velocity 0.25 c. The atom then emits a beta particle which is having a velocity 0.9 c related to the atom in the direction of its motion. What is the velocity of the beta particle as observed by the experimenter? Here velocity is what? Velocity is an experimenter observes a radioactive atom. Radioactive atom is moving with velocity 0.5 c and the atom is emitting a beta particle with velocity 0.9 c. relative to the atom in the direction of its motion. What is the velocity of beta particle as observed by the experimenter? Here we are having an equation u is equal to u prime by u prime plus v divided by 1 plus v u prime by c square. And here what's given is v is equal to 0.25 c and u prime is 0.9 c, and we'll have to find out u. U is equal to u prime plus v divided by 1 plus v u prime by c square, and substituting all these values you will get 0.94 c. So you have to understand what is v, what is u prime, what is u. We have already discussed that in the last class. You go through that. Just be thorough with all these notations. Okay, an electron is moving with a speed 0.85 c in the direction opposite to that of a moving photon. Calculate the relative velocity of photon with respect to the electron. Suppose electron is moving in a direction opposite to that of photon. We'll have to find out the velocity of electron with respect to photon. Photon is light with velocity 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Let the photon be moving along the positive x direction and the electron along the negative x direction. The speed of electron is what? Speed of photon is plus c, means speed of electron is minus, since it is opposite, minus 0.85 c. Consider the electron is at rest in system S. Then we may assume that the system S prime laboratory is moving with a velocity 0.85 c relative to S. So I can write here electron is at rest in the S frame, and the S prime frame is moving with a velocity 0.85 c away from the rest frame. So we are having v is equal to 0.85 c, u prime is c, and we'll have to find out u. Just consider the logic. Think well. We are assuming that the system S prime or laboratory is moving with a velocity 0.85 relative to the electron. Electron is at rest in the system S. Okay. And we'll have to find out the velocity of the electron with respect to the photon. And u prime is c, v is 0.85 c. We'll have to find out u the same way. And u is equal to c. If you are having any confusion regarding these two problems, you can ask me if there is any doubt. Okay. So thank you. If you and I'll put some of the questions, some 15 questions as homework in your Google Classroom today. What you have to do is I'll give you 10 days time, and you just go through all these classes, prepare notes, and you submit the assignment after thoroughly studying these portions. Okay. So with this, we'll come to an end of this chapter, and I'll just upload 1 or 2 classes from the portion conservation of energy. Okay, so thank you.